Okay, Vidar. So Vidar is a project that is on Kickstarter, and I came across it by following the creator on Twitter, and I've read the Kickstarter page, and it seems like a really interesting premise. It's revolving around a town that has NPCs in it, and every night one of the NPCs is killed by some kind of mysterious monster, and the story changes according to which NPCs are killed. So it takes different directions. Different quests become available for you depending on which NPCs are still alive, and the entire game is continuously changing. And each playthrough is different, and each playthrough is unique. Um, and so that sounds like a really interesting premise, and it sounds really innovative. I think that's been tried before in various other games, but has never really been accomplished to, you know, a really high standard. Like some games have tried to have that kind of feature where the game changes according to what happens in the game, but I think this project is going for a really extensive, like the story is really going to extensively change by depending on who dies and stuff, so it could be really interesting. So let's give it a go. I'm not sure if Razudin is still here, but let's see what we're in for with Vidar. Okay, Spooky, see you later.
The day the stranger came to Vidar, everyone was excited. If he could find a way through the blizzard, maybe there was a chance we could escape. But the storm was too strong, and the snow was too deep. The stranger was not the savior of Vidar.
Cool, voice acting. That's a really good touch to have some voice acting to open your game. It makes it feel very professional and interesting. I like the voices. Yeah, Chibi, I like the voices. Welcome to the demo. Normally in Vidar, a villager dies every night, but for the purposes of this demo, we'll kill 3 off right now. That's pretty harsh. Alec, Dorotia, and Zabina are dead. Conversations with the living, locations, and quests have been updated. Okay, this is quite a nice looking art style for this map here. Oh, my controller doesn't work, because my controller is not interacting with this game. Let me just unplug it and use my arrow keys to navigate this map. I like the art style of this map. I feel like it's very clean and very clear aesthetically. It's got a very well-defined identity. It definitely feels like it knows what it wants to be and what the setting is and how it wants to convey itself. I feel like the graphics are very consistent, so that's a good thing. I like it a lot. The sprites are pretty cool as well, or my sprite is pretty cool. Very custom and yeah, very high level. I like it a lot. Walking animation is slightly jerky, but it's not terrible. May the gods shelter Elec in their world. So I like that you've got like a little arrow floating above the grave for the interaction, just to tell the player that this is something you should be interacting with, because it means they can ignore the rest of the meaningless stuff, details. Dorothea was like a big sister to me. She always wanted me to be better, always thought I was capable of more than I really am. Okay, cool, so these are the NPCs. These graves are representing the NPCs that have been killed off at the start of the demo, just to kickstart the game. And these are the NPCs that are still alive, that are interacting with the graves, possibly have some kind of story connection with the NPCs that have been killed off, so it's interesting. She would have wanted me at that stupid workshop, doing the work she left behind. But no one can replace her. Certainly not me. Okay, Interesting. The music is nice. I like the music. Music is pretty cool. May the gods shelter Jabina, I think that's like a Czech name, or like a Slovakian Jabina in their world. Okay. Snow effect is nice too. I like the snow effect. Let's do some exploring. See what we can find. Any hidden items or things down here to pick up, I wonder? No. It's a little alcove area. I'm assuming that these barriers are here for the demo, just to, keep the player from wandering into areas that perhaps haven't been completed or mapped yet. I think the mapping in this scene is pretty good. It's interesting. The town itself looks relatively visually interesting, not bland and not featureless, which is quite an accomplishment considering that it is a snowscape, because snowy landscapes can quite often become bland very easily. So I think it's a good thing that the map is still looking quite rich and detailed. Those trees are so tall, Trivial. The lampposts are quite tall too. So there's a cave down there, which is interesting. I wonder what's going to happen if we enter that cave. Let's try that. Wait, is there a menu? Options. Master volume. So there's no like traditional RPG menu with your character and your face portrait and HP and stuff, so maybe it's not that kind of a game. Don't leave just yet. The people of Vidar have some requests. Talk to a few more before heading into the cave. If you say so, I will do so. Beakers, scales, measuring spoons, and other alchemical materials. Tiny box of knickknacks. Cool. Tiny box of knickknacks. Wardrobes, nothing. Just checking, in case there's any like secret interactables not shown up by the arrow. Don't burn yourself. It's the kind of thing I would do. It's the kind of thing I would definitely do. Empty potion bottles with a bit of grime. Nothing wrong with a bit of grime. Red wine rings have stained the inside. Cool. Who's this woman here? Blue-haired woman. Hello. Stranger, forgive me for not celebrating your arrival like the rest of the town. I buried my parents last week. I'm not in the celebrating mood. You party pooper. You're such a party pooper. Forget about your dead parents and welcome me to the village. Biatch. Bedroom. I like this kind of alcove bay window effect here with the diagonal walls. I think that's quite nice mapping here. It looks nice. Can I run? Can't run. Okay. The clock is stuck on 10:02. That could be crucial. Let's remember that. 10:02. Stranger, I heard last night that you arrived in a vision of white. I am a vision. I don't doubt that the gods sent you to rid us of the beast. The beast 666. But I've time for neither pleasantries nor tact. I beg of you, stranger, you must save my son. Eric went into the cave 2 days ago thinking he was going to be a hero. I haven't seen him since. You must find him and bring him home before he freezes to death, or worse. What exactly is worse than freezing to death? I'm not entirely sure what's worse than freezing to death. Once you're dead, that's about as bad as it gets. Becomes feed for the beast. Please help me, stranger. I can't bear the burden of burying another child. Yeah, that'd be traumatic for you, I understand that. What game is this? Hey Moonfly, how's it going? This game is called Vidar. and it is by Razavidin. I think he was in the chat room, but I think he left, so he's not here right now. The snow continues to pile up outside. How's it going, Moonfly? What's going on? Oh my god, Moonfly. Dan the Mighty donated like a massive £150. It was insane. It was just the craziest thing ever. But yeah, so you missed that. I was just like, whoa. Don't burn yourself. I seem to have a problem with wanting to burn myself at every opportunity, like on this stove and on this contraption here. I seem to want to burn myself everywhere I go, which is a kind of interesting character trait that I've acquired from my main character, Pyromaniac. A book called Love, Death and Music is here. Read it? Yes. Arjana's little-known story concerning the two teenage lovers who set out to kill their families has also served. A slight typo there. Dean, if you are watching this anytime soon, you've got a typo in this interaction box here. Should do that again. Families has also served as an inspiration for a Bart's opera. The opera, entitled Carlyle after the male lead, had only one notable performance. Rihanna Orast, the famous soprano, was literally obsessed by his turn, but everything written by the author, including of course the death of the true family. Cool. A book called Adventures in Sinar is here. Read it. Read it. At first my reaction to the room was with trepidation. There was no hearth, no wind guards, and the blankets on the bed felt as though paper. Yet as night approached, I looked out my window and saw the strangest sight: children playing in the street. Indeed, they stayed out and see if... Okay. A book called The Rules of Felden. That sounds like a very Germanic name. Is here, read it. After the player to the right draws 2 cards for every player still remaining, that player must play 2 cards, one of which must be from the 2 just drawn. The next player must choose a card from his hand which matches the shape of one of the cards played, and discard that card. Discard that card. Looking good. The Stranger's design, along with all the other citizens of Vidar, is the work of the very talented Becca Bear. Becca Bear. Cool. The artwork is pretty nice. I like it a lot. Sprites are especially nice. I feel like the mapping itself is slightly on the clinical side. It slightly feels a little bit uninhabited, unlived in. There's something about it that is slightly, yeah, clean, like too clean and too kind of clinical. You know, I'm not sure why that is, but it does feel a little bit mechanical. Piling snow outside the window. So I've got to go to the cave and rescue Eric, son of this dude. Gotta go and rescue his son. Got my first mission. Let's go. We're all doomed, stranger. You sure picked a piss-poor time to come to Vidar. You'll die too. Dorothea is dead. She was the one person capable of any real leadership in this town. The beast had cut off the head of Vidar. I would give everything I own to know how you made it here through this storm, because without that, we're all going to die very quickly. Looking good. Okay. Purple-haired girl. What's going on with you? Anything interesting? Stranger, you and I are more alike than you know. For starters, we're the only ones who are still willing to enter the cave, despite the beast. For another, we're each wanderers. Vidar is not home, and how could it be? Look around, this place is a shithole. Okay, she's very harsh. I've been accused of a lot in this short time I've been here. Apparently my digging around is somehow responsible for waking the beast. Others think I'm robbing Vidar of some rich cultural history. I'm here for treasure, stranger. I'm not a thief. Perhaps you can help me as you explore. I believe that there should be a vast sum of wealth buried in the snow in that cave. You find it and we'll split it 70-30. Ah, negotiations have opened up, huh? Well, I'm not going to take your first offer. I am going to get you down to a better offer for sure. What do you say? Well, I'll just assume you aren't stupid and you'll say yes. Here, take this. No, bitch, negotiations first. I never accept the first offer. Received a shovel. Anywhere you see some cracked ground, dig, and dig deep, stranger. We're on the cusp of making quite a bit of money. Okay, so I can use my shovel. Let me go and use my shovel on the snow outside and see what I can dig up. So let's go to menu and options. No. Wait, how do you dig? Whoops, I totally did not pay attention. Were you guys paying attention in the chat room? How do you dig with your shovel? I kind of was not listening as I was reading that out loud. Anyone know in the chat room? Anywhere you see some cracked ground. Oh, cracked ground, okay. So it's got to be cracked ground. Got it. I understand now. So let's go and rescue the sun from the cave. Let's do that. Is my chat frozen? For this demo, since you received Sandor's quest, you're being sent to where you can find his son. Here's a quick tutorial. Ice causes you to slide in the direction you're facing until you hit a rock or a wall. If you fall off the sides, no worries. You'll be reset outside the puzzle to quickly try again. Okay, more puzzles, huh? Yikes. After the last game, this could be kind of tricky. Use enter to interact with switches on the wall or levers you might find. Buttons on the ground require no interaction, just slide right over them. Okay. Press A to switch your character and Sandor's son Eric. You need to go back and forth between them often. A, okay, A. You'll have 7 minutes to try and save Eric. Good luck. Help me, please. Over here. Oh gods, I can't believe someone found me. I came down here and thinking to fight the beast and... Whoa. Okay. This place is dangerous. Never mind, this cave is collapsing. Please, help me. Pressure is on. Eric is trapped within the falling ice. He needs your help to reach the exit. Yikes. Scary. Switch back and forth frequently using A to make it out. You'll need the combined efforts of Eric and the stranger to make it out alive. Chat, is it frozen? Don't worry. Cool. Let me just check if Razavidin is in here. He is not in here. That's strange, because I told him I was going to play his game, but maybe he had other prior engagements. Okay, so let's go back to here. Yeah, we are teamwork now. We're a team in Fly. This is it. Young boy and older, strange, unidentified gentleman are going to combine their powers and become the best team for escaping out of ice-based puzzles that you have ever seen in your entire life, Moonfly. Coming up right now. You'll need the combined efforts of Eric and the stranger to make it out alive. Let's do this thing. Okay, so here is the ice, I think, that is going to make me slide. Cool. And let's go up here and press this green switch. So the green barrier has been, disengaged. Let's just switch to the younger boy and see what he can do with that, if anything. Whee! Sliding. Slide. Okay, so we can go here. Here. This arrow redirects us to the red barrier. But if the green barrier is not up, then I'm just going to slide off the edge of the platform. So I probably don't want to slide off the edge of the platform. So thinking I should put the green barrier back up maybe. And my time is going down so quickly. Because because if I put the green barrier back up, then I'll stop in front of it, and then I can go to here, and then I can go to here. Because wait, I need to go up here. Okay, so in that case, I need to get onto this arrow to redirect me up here. So I need to be down here. Let's come down here, stop before this rock, and then come along here. So we need to switch off the blue gate. We need to switch off the blue gate. Okay. And then we can go. If we go to wait a second. If we go to here. Down to here, and that's not anything. Not entirely sure how I solve this. Let's just try moving around, huh? Try some moving around and see what's going on. Okay, instant death. Yikes, I kind of stumped here. I'm trying to envisage, like, what is the combination of gates that I need to have open or closed to enable me to exit this place. I'm assuming that the arrow up the top there is the arrow that I'm heading for. That's where I'm supposed to go, up here, but I'm not entirely sure. It could be like this way or this way. But how do I arrange that in like 3.5 minutes? No, 3.5 minutes. Time is going down so quickly. Man, I suck at puzzles. I think that's what I'm realizing, that I am really bad at puzzles, for sure. You're going in the wrong on, red off, go to the red gate like you did earlier, go left down. Okay, green on, red off. I think red is already away. Is red off? No, it's on. Okay. And then green. Is green on? Get to the red gate like you did earlier, go left, down, right. Oh, whoops. Must have done that wrong somehow. But hey, Liaga, how's it going? Okay, so maybe it's the other way around, and it's, this one is off, like this one is. Try that. And then get to the red gate like you did earlier, go left, down, right. Okay. I don't remember how you did the first part earlier though. Yeah, it's definitely very challenging. This puzzle is very challenging. And Liaga, I've already had my brain fried by a previous game that also had puzzles in it. So, kind of don't exactly know how this is supposed to happen here. My brain power has been exhausted by a previous game, so that's my excuse anyway. That is my excuse. That has been 100% my bona fide excuse. I may just not be grasping this, but I have an excuse. So wait a second. I've only got like a minute left. Up there. There. Get to yellow, then blue, remove red and open green. Get to yellow and then blue. Okay, so I gotta get to the blue one. And so that means going... Wait. How do I get to the blue switch? The blue switch is... here, around here, down here. Here. Go to yellow, then blue, remove red and open green, okay? So let's switch back to this guy. Go to the blue, remove red and open green. Puzzles confirmed, top tier strat, yeah. Pretty much Moonfly. Open green. You guys are laughing your head off at me. Yes, I'm free to puzzles. Can't get a hang of them. Blue, remove red, open green. Ah, time up. The guy has died, the boy has died. Stranger, the cave is collapsing. This is it for me, just save yourself. Find my dad and tell him. Oopsie, he died. If Sandor survives the night, you could report back and tell him what happened to his son. I don't think I'd want to tell him that. Could you imagine? Hey, I couldn't quite solve the puzzle in the ice cave, and I watched your child fall into the abyss. Sorry. I think it'll be kind of an awkward conversation. You weren't able to get to Eric. You weren't able to get Eric's final words for his dad, so you won't be able to help Sandor. Sandor will grieve, but Sandor's friend Barbalo will have an idea to help Sandor. Barbalo will make a new request available to you. But if Sandor is dead before you're able to report to him, you might find his son's ghost wandering the halls of the cave, restless. For every death, including Eric's, everything changes. Thanks for playing. Don't forget to sign up for updates. And check out vidarthegame.com for updates and links to Twitter, Facebook, etc. Okay, so that was a demo of Vidar. I think it had a lot of interesting features in it. It had a very highly developed puzzle system and puzzle gameplay element that was very complex, and I liked it. I thought that it was very well fleshed out with the various gates and switching between two characters and the sliding element of the ice, the time limit. I feel like the time limit was a very pressurized thing, obviously, and it was kind of yeah, it was a little bit, I felt like very much under pressure, and I might have preferred it without the time limit, and you could just kind of solve it at your own rate, but that's just because I suck at puzzles, probably. But yeah, I had a really good puzzle gameplay thing going on. I feel like, to be honest with you, I feel like it didn't really show off what it was all about to the best of its ability, because it's all about like NPCs, like a story that changes depending on who dies, and the story takes like very different directions every time you play through it. And the narrative and the storytelling is the real focus of this game, but I feel like the narrative and the story was not quite presented in a very powerful way. Like, my interactions with the NPCs were kind of, they weren't really impactful for me. Like, I didn't feel like I had any kind of engagement with the NPCs or with the general setting of the town. I felt kind of distant from it and unengaged. I think that's just because you've made the main character just this stranger person who doesn't have his own personality, doesn't have a name, doesn't have a characterization about him, and therefore it's kind of difficult to, when you're controlling an avatar that has no personality himself and has no kind of interactions with the world, it's kind of difficult for the player to become engaged, because if your player character isn't engaged through the use of like cutscenes or dialogue replies, it is kind of difficult for the player to themselves become immersed into the world, because your avatar isn't really reacting to whatever's happening. But I think that, the gameplay, the narrative, like the narrative changing every single time you play it is a really awesome feature and a huge accomplishment to be able to create that kind of storytelling. It's a very innovative way of telling your story, but I do feel like I think perhaps the player character needs to have some kind of identity and some kind of personality about them so that you can have more, like, so that more can be, you can feel more invested into the setting, because right now the NPCs are just kind of standard NPCs and they don't mean anything to you because you have no connection. Like, if the player character was someone who was in the village and had like prior connections to various NPCs, like if one of the NPCs was like his uncle and another one was like his high school friend, another one was like his ex-lover, then it would make the narrative and the storytelling so much more compelling, because you would have like strong, distinct, like the player character would have strong, distinct reactions and interactions with the NPCs in different ways, and so you would feel very much like the NPCs are distinct people, and would have different relationships and different connections with the different NPCs if the actual character in the game had ties or had custom, original, like individual interactions with them. But I think the graphics are really nice. I think the graphics and mapping are pretty good. I just checked and Vidar Kickstarter only has 4 days left and needs about 2k more. If you want to see it, go out there, get it there and go sign up. Yeah, I think it's definitely worthy of checking out. If you enjoy puzzle games, then I think it's definitely a good game. I just feel like the narrative wasn't quite as strong as perhaps it's relying on, because I think the game really is counting on its storytelling, and I feel like it wasn't really as strong as it could have been for this demo. Because the thing about a demo is, demo's got to showcase your game in the best possible light. It's got to give you like a real sense of what the full game is going to be about, and I feel like this demo doesn't do the whole game justice. Like, it doesn't quite convey what the entire game is going to try and achieve in terms of its fluctuating narrative and its very fluid storytelling. I don't feel that was really conveyed that much. I think it's going to be tricky, because if the main player character is going to have no kind of interactions with the world, and what I mean by that is, like, in dialogue or cutscenes he's never going to say anything himself, I think it's going to be hard to really have a story that evokes a response in the player. But I think it's impressive. I think it's impressive for a lot of reasons, but there are areas that it could do better, just to make sure that it shows itself off, like make sure that it really conveys what it's all about, because I think the concept of Vidar is top notch. I think it sounds like a really interesting game, but I feel like the execution in this demo has not been as impactful and as emotionally evocative as it could have been, because, and that might be true, but I like special reasoning puzzles like that. I like the demo too. I think the demo is pretty good, but I feel like the demo could do better in terms of the story, because if I sit here and think about what I've just played, then there was not really a story cutscene or something that was really powerful in terms of evoking an emotion in me, or humor, or any kind of real drama. Because the thing about the sun being in danger is that it's a very hard thing to open up a game and within 5 minutes have an NPC in mortal peril, because generally players don't feel any empathy towards NPCs like right at the start of the game. That kind of thing has to be built up through cutscenes and dialogue and interactions before you can really care about NPCs. Like, you're not just gonna start a game and care about just random NPCs. So the little boy being in danger is not really evoking much of a response in you, because you haven't had any interactions with him so far. But I think that that kind of thing is easily adjusted, so it's not a big deal. yeah, it was good. I liked it. I liked it, but I would say, what I would say is maybe try and put at least one kind of event, like cutscene, into the game, into the demo, where the demo really shows off what the storytelling is all about, and have that cutscene be quite crucial to the own character's progression, like have it impact on the player character and have it change him or make him feel something, or maybe establish some kind of vague hints about excuse me, who is the player character, where did he come from, does he have like a backstory, does he have like an identity, why is he in the village. Maybe give the player some kind of hints. Thank you for swimming along, Liaga. Thank you so much, Liaga, for swimming along with us all today. Thanks a lot. Yeah, what I'm saying is maybe try and establish in this demo some kind of, I'm not saying spoil everything and make it very clear who the stranger is and why he's come to the town, but maybe try and give the player some kind of hints or tips or allusions. Give them allusions to possible theories, like why has he come here, who is he, what's his motivation. Yeah, motivation, that's a really key word that I think you have to explore and re-explore in this game, because the motivation for the player character is not defined. Like, why does he care about these NPCs in this village? Why does he give a damn? Or why is he here in the first place? What is his motivation? Because the player character's motivation is crucial for the player's motivation. That's what drives a game. If the main character has no motivation and has no reason to care, then the player has no reason to care. So that's a really crucial thing that I think you should reinvestigate and just examine and think, is this avatar really doing a great job of immersing the player into your world? Because if not, then it could be an issue with your overall narrative. But what else do I have to say about this game? Like constructive criticism that I can give this game. Don't know exactly. I think that's pretty much everything. Music is good. The voice acting, a little bit of voice acting at the start of the game was pretty enjoyable and impressive. I liked that a lot. But yeah, it was pretty enjoyable. But yeah, I think my comments could be quite useful for you, Razavidin, if you're watching this on YouTube at a later date.